2 decades of work with the human psyche have shown me an undeniable truth. Many individuals, particularly women, are grappling with a sense of absence and isolation in their relationships, as well as a profound imbalance within themselves. The cause often lies in their unwitting disconnection from an incredibly powerful inner resource, their feminine energy. In a society that uses speed, logical achievement, and proactive drive as its guiding principles, the qualities associated with feminine energy, such as intuition, receptivity, the capacity to nurture, empathy, and emotional flexibility, have been undervalued or even perceived as weaknesses. This suppression leads to distinct psychological consequences: chronic stress, low self-esteem, relationships based on control or dependency, and a deep-seated fear of vulnerability. We do too much and are too little. This video, from the perspective of a psychologist with 20 years of experience, will not stop at definitions. We will conduct a deep, expert analysis of the nature of feminine energy, the mechanisms by which it operates in individual psychology and relationships, and clarify why reconnecting with this energy is the crucial factor in achieving comprehensive self-acceptance and attracting authentic love. We will explore how feminine energy, when properly cultivated, becomes a powerful force of attraction, creating genuine, balanced, and meaningful relationships, not as a result of an exhausting search, but as a natural resonance. What is feminine energy? Throughout 2 decades of accompanying countless souls on their journey toward balance and happiness, I have come to realize a core truth. So many people, especially women, are living in a state of profound disconnection from their own selves. They seek fulfillment and love from the outside world, yet they neglect an immensely powerful internal resource, feminine energy. It is crucial to clarify from the outset. This is not a concept tied to gender or outdated social stereotypes of how a woman should be. No. Feminine energy is a universal flow, a collection of essential qualities that every human being, regardless of biological sex, possesses and needs to cultivate. Consider this. In a world that glorifies speed, decisiveness, cold logic, and the ability to master everything, we have been trained to trade our softness, intuition, and receptivity for toughness and competitiveness. I often see my clients, talented and independent women in America, exhausted from the pressure to power through to prove they are just as strong and decisive as men. They learn to ignore their inner voice, dismiss their emotions, and prioritize what reason dictates, fearing they will be labeled weak or overly emotional. This is the very source of spiritual exhaustion and alienation from the authentic self. In reality, feminine energy is the wellspring of strengths that may seem contradictory, but are, in fact, essential. It is intuition, the ability to know something without the need for logic, an internal compass that guides us through life's labyrinths. It is receptivity, not passivity, but the capacity to open one's heart to receive, allowing things to come to you without needing to control them, including love, help, and new experiences. The power of feminine energy also lies in empathy and the ability to nurture, a profound instinct to understand and care for not only others, but also oneself. This is the origin of all genuine connection, of all strong communities. And perhaps the most misunderstood qualities are true softness and vulnerability. When feminine energy is expressed, it allows us to be flexible as water, gracefully adapting to any circumstance instead of rigidly resisting. Softness is not weakness, it is the strength of adaptability and letting go. And vulnerability? It is not a sign of brokenness. On the contrary, daring to show vulnerability, to allow oneself to be seen in the most authentic moments, whether in fear or imperfection, is an act of profound courage. It is the only door that opens to the deepest, most meaningful connections, the catalyst for love and understanding to flourish. When these qualities are suppressed, our lives become barren, lacking in natural creativity, and our relationships tend to become strained or superficial. This imbalance is a wake-up call. To truly find fulfillment and attract authentic love, we must awaken and revive this forgotten feminine flow within ourselves. This is a journey back to the authentic self, where strength comes not from straining and forcing, but from acceptance and radiating from within. Feminine energy in history and evolution. Having clarified that the nature of feminine energy is not about gender, but a set of core qualities, the next vital step is to understand its origins and why it holds such profound power. To grasp the true value of this energy in modern life, we must look back to the past, from the dawn of humanity to the cultural shifts across ages. This is not merely a history lesson. It is the discovery that feminine power has always been an indispensable part of our existence and development. Looking at ancient cultures, we see a reality completely different from modern prejudices. Feminine energy was far from being undervalued. On the contrary, it was often revered as a supreme sacred force. Most primal beliefs featured the presence of Mother Earth goddesses, symbols of fertility and the nurturing of life. From the Greeks' Gaia to Hinduism's Devi or the ancient Venus figurines, all bear witness to the reverence for the ability to create and sustain life. Love goddesses like Aphrodite represented not just physical beauty, but the power of attraction, connection, and instinctual passion. Even the wisdom goddess Athena embodied the aspect of sharp intuition and a deep understanding that transcends mere logic. These figures show that, in the collective unconscious of humanity, the qualities we call feminine energy were once seen as the source of power and prosperity. However, the tide of history witnessed a shift. With the rise of civilizations focused on warfare, conquest of territory, and the building of hierarchical power systems, masculine energy, of action, control, and logic, gradually gained absolute dominance. Feminine energy, with its soft, receptive, and intuitive nature, was relegated to the private sphere, deemed weak or overly emotional, and unfit for grand-scale decision-making. This imbalance not only shaped society, but also became deeply ingrained in individual psychology over many generations. From the perspective of evolutionary psychology, the role of feminine energy becomes even clearer and more essential for survival. In the early days of humanity, procreation and the cohesion of the tribe were paramount. Qualities such as compassion and empathy to maintain group harmony, patience to nurture the young, and flexible adaptation to harsh environments were all key factors. Feminine energy fostered cooperation and the sustainability of the community, rather than mere competitive survival. Intuition also played a vital role. A gut feeling about danger or a food source helped our ancestors survive when analytical logic was not yet developed. We carry the legacy of these traits within us. In summary, feminine energy is not a new age idea or an abstract concept. It is a core part of our evolutionary DNA and our cultural heritage. Understanding these roots helps us realize that reconnecting with feminine energy is not about learning something foreign, but a journey of remembering and awakening a power that has always existed deep within, waiting to be liberated. This is the first step toward healing the long-standing imbalance and opening the path to wholeness and authentic relationships. Cultivating the feminine flow from the simplest things. So, how do we break down these internal barriers and allow feminine energy to rise? It does not require complex rituals or hours spent in meditation. In truth, it is a continuous process of practicing self-acceptance and self-nurturing in the simple moments of everyday life. In my experience, the greatest changes often begin with small, repeated daily actions. Listen to your body, the smallest signals. Drink a glass of water when you are truly thirsty. It's that simple. Instead of drinking on a schedule, pause and ask, what does my body need right now? Eat what you crave, mindfully. Occasionally, allow yourself to eat what you truly desire, not because of dietary rules or social pressure. This is how you honor and indulge your body's needs. Rest when you are tired. Instead of pushing to do one more thing, permit yourself to sit down, close your eyes for a few minutes, or take a gentle walk. This is receptivity and self-nurturing. Wear clothing that makes you feel comfortable and beautiful, not for how others see you, but for the feeling of ease and confidence that radiates from within. Allow yourself to do nothing and simply feel. Sit and look out the window without a thought. Simply observe the trees, the falling rain, or the sunlight. This is when you are allowing your intuition to speak, unburdened by goals or plans. Savor a hot cup of coffee or tea completely. Feel the warmth, the aroma, the taste. This is mindfulness in action, helping you connect with your senses, a vital channel for feminine energy. Immerse yourself in a favorite piece of music. Feel each note, each melody, without analysis. Music is a direct flow of emotion, helping to release creative and connective energy. Learn to receive and ask for help. Let someone hold the door open for you. or offer you a seat. Sometimes we are so independent that we refuse even small acts of kindness. Try embracing the generosity of others. This is the practice of receptivity. Ask a friend to listen when you are sad. Instead of shouldering the burden alone, allow yourself to express vulnerability and seek support. This is a powerful act of connection. Accept a compliment gracefully. Instead of deflecting or downplaying it, simply say, "Thank you," and receive it. Nurture creativity and simple joys. Doodle, hum a tune, or write a few lines freely. You don't need talent or a purpose. Simply allow the creative flow to express itself. Redecorate a small corner of your home. This demonstrates the nurturing of your living space, creating beauty and comfort for yourself. Play with children or pets. Connect with innocence, spontaneity, and unconditional love, core qualities of feminine energy. Practice self-compassion. Instead of self-criticism, ask yourself, what am I feeling? When you make a mistake or feel disappointed, treat yourself as you would a dear friend. Allow yourself to be imperfect. Understanding that no one is perfect and accepting your own flaws is a crucial part of self-acceptance. These small actions, when performed consciously and accumulated over time, will help you dismantle your internal walls. They are not mere habits. They are moments in which you are actively reconnecting with your inner feminine energy, allowing it to breathe and express itself naturally in your daily life. From this, confidence and peace will gradually blossom, creating a solid foundation for every relationship you attract, feminine energy, and the attraction of love. After having spent time exploring and reconnecting with the feminine energy within, understanding its nature and practicing simple acts to release it, the central question now becomes, how does this internal energy become such a powerful magnet for authentic love? Many people still believe that finding love requires proactive effort, a strategic attack, or even a battle to win over a desired partner. However, from the perspective of empirical psychology, I assert that the wholeness and authenticity of feminine energy are, in fact, the most effective magnets for attracting a true and sustainable love. The mechanism of attraction, from self-acceptance to deep relational resonance. When you begin to listen to your intuition, allow yourself to be receptive, express empathy, nurture yourself, and especially dare to show authentic vulnerability, you begin to emit a different energetic field, a subtle resonance. To understand this mechanism more deeply, we must turn to the concepts of Carljung's analytical psychology. Jung believed that every individual carries within them both masculine and feminine unconscious aspects, which he termed the animus, the inner masculine in a woman, and the anima, the inner feminine in a man. The integration and harmonization of these opposing aspects within one's psyche are an essential part of the individuation process, the journey to becoming a whole, unique self. When a woman accepts and cultivates her feminine energy, she is activating a profound part of her soul, allowing feminine archetypes to be expressed authentically. These archetypes are not rigid molds, but innate, universal psychological patterns that represent different facets of the collective consciousness and unconscious. My choice to analyze these specific archetypes is not arbitrary. They represent the core aspects of feminine energy, each playing a vital role in shaping personal identity and the capacity for connection. The mother nurturer archetype represents compassion, nurturing, tolerance, and the capacity for unconditional giving. When this archetype is activated, a woman can care for herself with compassion while also creating a safe and warm space for her relationships. This nurturing is not limited to children, but extends to the spiritual care of friends, partners, and even her own projects. The maiden innocent archetype symbolizes purity, a thirst for beauty, the ability to feel simple joy and untapped potential. This is the aspect of openness, initial trust, and excitement for new things. Embracing this archetype helps maintain freshness, curiosity, and the ability to see the world with clear eyes, which is highly attractive in a relationship. The lover Aphrodite archetype manifests as passion, sensuality, the capacity for deep connection through the senses, and attraction. This is the energy of vitality, of joy in intimacy, and the ability to love fervently. When this archetype is liberated, a woman becomes more confident in her own beauty and allure, not just physically, but spiritually. The wise woman strategist archetype represents sharp intuition, a deep understanding of human nature and the world, and the ability to make sound judgments. This is the aspect of inner wisdom, helping a woman see through issues and make decisions not only with logic, but with a knowing from the unconscious. This clarity is the foundation for choosing the right partner and direction in a relationship. The harmony and balance among these archetypes create a solid self-esteem that is not based on external validation, but on the acceptance of her whole self. This authentic and complete self-confidence becomes a natural filter. She will no longer attract or tolerate superficial relationships based on dependency or disrespect. Instead, she will automatically attract partners who also possess emotional maturity and who desire an equal and profound relationship. Jung also proposed that we tend to project the unconscious aspects of our anima animus onto others. A man may be drawn to a woman strong in her feminine energy because she represents the anima, his inner feminine that he has yet to integrate. However, according to Jung, true love does not stop at this initial projection. It requires both partners to engage in their own individuation journeys, recognizing and integrating the hidden aspects of themselves. I once had a client named Anya, a brilliant engineer in Silicon Valley. Anya always felt she had to compete and prove her superior competence in a male-dominated work environment. She viewed emotions as a weakness and always tried to control everything. Anya's relationships were often short-lived, or she would only attract controlling men. As we worked together for Anya to reconnect with her feminine energy, especially allowing her softness, intuition, and vulnerability to emerge, she began to change. She learned to listen to her body, trust her gut feelings at work, and dared to express her anxieties instead of always appearing invulnerable. Gradually, she stopped hunting for love. Instead, she focused on living authentically as herself. Subsequently, Anya met Mark, a man who cherished her emotional depth, creativity, and receptivity. Their relationship developed based on deep respect and mutual support in each other's personal growth journeys. Mark was attracted to the fullness of Anya's feminine energy, which he realized he needed to balance his own animus. The balance of giving and receiving, the dance of two souls. One of the most powerful expressions of feminine energy is receptivity. In a society that praises giving, hard work, and proactive effort, many American women have been programmed to believe that receiving or asking for help is a sign of weakness. They frequently find themselves in a state of overload, always being the one to shoulder burdens, solve problems, and give endlessly. The fear of dependency or being taken advantage of has caused them to close the door to receiving, inadvertently blocking the flow of love and connection. When you learn to trust and allow yourself to receive care, help, spiritual and material gifts, the love of others, you not only open the door for love to enter your life, but you also create the space for your partner to express their role and value. In healthy relationships, both feminine energy, receiving, creating space, and masculine energy, giving, protecting, providing direction, need to be balanced and interact rhythmically. Social exchange theory in relationship psychology indicates that stable relationships are often based on a balance of costs and benefits that each partner gives and receives. When one party only gives and the other only receives, or conversely, if the feminine partner does not allow the masculine partner to give, this imbalance will lead to resentment, exhaustion, or a feeling of being unappreciated. Feminine energy, with its receptive nature, helps reestablish this balance, turning the relationship into a tandem dance where both partners feel loved, valued, and able to contribute. As Rollo May, an existential psychologist, wrote in his work Love and Will, true love is not a matter of getting, it is an affirmation of the other person's being, a caring for his growth. The act of receiving is precisely such an act of opening, fostering depth of connection, building love from a foundation of wholeness. Feminine energy is the source of sharp intuition, deep empathy, and the ability to nurture emotions. These qualities are the indispensable foundation for building relationships that transcend superficiality and impermanence. Intuition guides choices and interactions. When you listen to your intuition during the dating process and within the relationship itself, you can sense the authenticity of your partner, the unspoken words, and the potential for a deeper connection. Jung defined intuition as perception via the unconscious. Trusting this intuition helps you recognize red flags that logic might miss, or conversely, identify the green flags of a potential connection, laying the groundwork for a relationship built on deep, instinctual trust. Empathy creates true understanding. The capacity for empathy, a prominent trait of feminine energy, allows you to put yourself in your partner's shoes, understanding their emotions, fears, and deepest desires. Empathy is not blind agreement, but the ability to connect on an emotional level. It is this understanding that helps resolve conflicts more effectively, builds trust, and creates a safe space for both partners to be themselves. Dr. John Gottman's research on marital communication consistently highlights that empathy and the ability to listen with understanding are the highest predictors of a relationship's success. Gottman also points out that the happiest couples are not those who don't have conflict, but those who are able to repair the relationship after conflict through understanding and acceptance. This is a direct application of feminine energy, nurturing affection and mutual growth. Feminine energy encourages care, tenderness, and maintaining the flame of love through small, daily gestures. From listening sincerely without judgment to creating a safe environment where both can grow as individuals. It is a loving presence, the ability to create a nest that is not just physical, but emotional. Throughout this exploration of feminine energy, we have together re-examined old prejudices, understood its deep roots in history and evolutionary psychology, and most importantly, recognized how to unleash this power through the simplest activities of our daily lives. We have delved into complex psychological mechanisms, particularly through the lens of Carljung and other eminent psychologists, to see that cultivating feminine energy is not merely an external change, but a profound internal revolution. Embracing your feminine energy with all its intuition, receptivity, empathy, creativity, softness, and especially its authentic vulnerability is an expression of extraordinary inner strength. When you dare to be your whole self, without hiding or straining, you automatically create a magnetic field of attraction. This field will attract not only authentic romantic love, but also genuine, healthy relationships in every aspect of your life, from family and friends to work and community. Now is the time for each of us, especially modern women, to pause and listen to the call from deep within. Let go of the pressure to be perfect or tough according to some external mold. Trust your intuition, allow yourself to feel and to receive. Courageously express your vulnerability, because that is what truly opens the door to love and understanding. Begin the journey of awakening your feminine energy today. Because when you fully embrace yourself, you will not only find unprecedented peace and confidence, but you will also become a powerful magnet, attracting the meaningful connections and authentic love you have always deserved. As Irvin Yalom, a renowned psychotherapist, emphasized the importance of authentic relationships in the process of self-actualization. It is in the relationship that we discover ourselves. Feminine energy is the very foundation for that authentic discovery. If these words have resonated with your soul, if you yearn to delve deeper into the journey of self-discovery and create genuine relationships, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Please like this article, share it with the women you care about, leave a comment with your reflections, and don't forget to subscribe to the Love and Psyche channel so you don't miss expert analysis and practical advice from a psychologist with 20 years of experience. Together, we will unlock our hidden power and create a life full of authentic love and wholeness.